How your brain constructs reality, the Neuroscience edition. Most people think they're reacting to the reality outside, but neuroscience shows something far more confronting. You're reacting to a reality your brain is constructing for you. Two people can be in the very same room, same situation, same conversation, and walk away having lived in two completely different realities. Today, I want to break this down for you. How does your brain construct reality, while you're only perceiving a tiny fraction of what exists? And how neuroscience proves that changing your brain literally changes your lived experience of reality. I've always been fascinated by reality. What confused me though for years was this: why could the same external situation feel empowering to me one day and crushing the next one? Same people, same circumstances, but completely different emotional outcomes. At some point I realized something uncomfortable. My state of mind before entering a situation was predicting how I would experience it, not influencing it, predicting it. When I entered a conversation feeling safe, grounded, and open, people responded warmly. When I entered the same type of conversation, tense or defensive, I found more conflict, rejection, or stress. It felt personal at first. Then I discovered neuroscience, and neuroscience confirms something radical. The brain does not perceive the reality, it predicts it. I already had minored in psychology at university by that point, and it gave me like a strong foundation in understanding human experience and behavior. But for me, it wasn't enough. Psychology explains what we experience. It doesn't fully explain how or why the brain generates that experience in the first place. That insight, that the brain actively predicts our reality, is what led me to formally study neuroscience through Harvard. I wanted to understand reality at the level of neural circuits, prediction systems, and biology, not just the observable outcomes of mindset or behavior. Neuroscience fact 1: you are not experiencing objective reality. Neuroscience is very clear on this. There's no such thing as an objective experience of reality. Your brain receives fragmented sensory data, light, sound, waves, pressure, chemical signals, and then it constructs a model of the world based on your past experiences, your memory, and your beliefs. This is known as predictive processing. Your brain is constantly asking, what is most likely happening right now based on what I already know? And then it fills the gaps. Neuroscience fact 2: 95% of your brain activity is subconscious. Let's get specific here. Research in neuroscience shows that around 95% of brain activity happens below conscious awareness. That means your reactions, your emotional responses, your interpretations, your decisions, your attraction and avoidance are mostly driven by subconscious programs formed very early in life. When I was 17, this was actually the topic I chose for my final A-level presentation. Do we have a free will? How the brain constructs reality and makes decisions. One of the key studies I presented even back then came from neuroscience research at the Max Planck Institute. It shows that brain activity predicting a decision can be detected up to 7 seconds before we become consciously aware of having decided. This is why willpower doesn't work long-term. You can't consciously override a subconscious operating system, the Reticular Activating System, why you're only seeing 1% of reality. Now let's talk about the Reticular Activating System. Your brain is processing around 11 million bits of information per second. Your conscious mind can handle about 40 to 50 bits per second. So your brain has a problem. If you perceived everything, you will be completely overwhelmed instantly. So the solution? Filter almost everything out. The Reticular Activating System is a neurofiltering system based in the brainstem that decides what you notice, what you ignore, what feels relevant, and what feels invisible to you. It filters reality based on your beliefs, your identity, your emotional conditioning, and what your brain thinks is important for survival. This is why you don't see opportunities that others might see. You keep repeating the same patterns in relationships, work, and so on. You feel stuck even when options exist. It's not that the paths aren't there. Your brain isn't letting them through. Neuroscience fact 3: your brain deletes what doesn't match your identity. Here's the part most people miss. The Reticular Activating System does not filter for truth. It filters for consistency. consistency with who you believe you are, what you believe is possible, and what feels familiar to your nervous system. If your subconscious identity is, I have to struggle, I'm not safe, I don't get what I want, I have to choose between success and love, your brain will highlight evidence that confirms that, delete evidence that contradicts it, not consciously, completely automatically. This is why positive thinking fails. The filter remains unchanged. So can you actually change then your reality? Yes, you can, but not by forcing thoughts. Neuroscience shows that reality changes when neural pathways change. When you rewire emotional associations, threat responses, and identity-level beliefs, your brain starts predicting a different world. And once the prediction changes, your perception changes, your behavior changes, your results change. So same external world, but different internal model and a different reality. What this means practically. So say if you want to change your life, you don't start actually with motivation. You should start with identifying the subconscious filters, understanding how your brain learned them, and upgrading the neural patterns running your perception, so your wiring. This is skill-based, trainable, and repeatable, and backed by neuroscience. This is exactly why I created the Neuro-Game scan. It's completely free for you, it's my gift for you. Inside, you will discover your biggest subconscious block right now. You will understand how it's shaping your perception and reality. And you will learn the 7 neuroscience-based steps to upgrade the way that your brain constructs your reality. No fluff, no forcing positivity, just understanding how your brain actually works and using that knowledge to change the game that you're playing. The link is below in the description. And once you see how your brain is constructing your reality, you will never experience life the very same way again.